welcome back to our channel. We're going to be talking today about friendships, and it's going to be the second episode on this podcast. Today I have with me my guests. They're known as the trio. This is Elena.
Hi.
This is Andrea.
Hola.
And this is Jimena.
Hey guys.
You guys have been friends for so long, right? And you guys met each other here at church, right? Yeah. How long have you guys been friends for?
Well, me and Andrea have been friends for 9 years, and all of us have been friends for 7 years.
Oh my goodness, that's a really long time. That's nice. So the audience can get to know you guys better. Share some core memories you guys have with each other.
There was this one time that Jimena came over to my house, and there was this TikTok challenge at that time, and it was blind. Someone's blind, someone can't talk, and someone can't listen.
Yeah.
And it was we bake a cake, while doing
While doing the challenge, one can't hear and one oh, okay.
Yeah, while making the batter and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So since it was only two of us, we only did two of them, you know.
Yeah.
And she couldn't talk and I couldn't listen, which is actually kind of I didn't think about that because I can't listen, but she can't even talk. So it was kind of why would we do that, you know?
Yeah.
But later on through that challenge, half the time while we were making the batter,
yeah,
the oven was on fire.
Wait, the oven was on fire?
The oven was literally just on fire. We didn't notice till later, and then when we noticed, she was still when she told me, she still was doing the challenge, you know.
You guys were still doing the challenge while the oven was on fire.
Yeah, while the oven was on fire. She saw the oven was on fire and she was tapping on me like crazy, but she's not using her voice, you know.
Oh my goodness.
Then when I look at it, I'm oh, is it ready? Knowing that the oven is on fire. You know? It was kind of it was funny. And then you know how every Hispanic household has pans and stuff in the oven. Yeah. So it was when I opened it, it was a freaking spatula on fire.
Wait, a spatula was on fire?
Spatula was on fire. It was made out of wood, right?
Yeah. And how did you guys put out the fire?
Well, it was actually really chaotic because my mom had showed me this video and it was how to put out fires, and it was don't add water to it, you know?
Yeah.
And I was well, I'm not going to add water to it, you know, because the firefighter said not to, add water in that YouTube video. So, I didn't add water to it, and I was no, in the video, it said, get a wet rag and put it over.
Yeah.
You know? I was going to do that, but that was scary. What if just the rag gets on fire?
Oh,
so
my
I
goodness.
just wet a rag, and I just started, smacking the fire, and then she started copying me,
you guys both just
yeah,
smacking.
we were just like that. Yeah, and then, but we're still doing the challenge. I still wouldn't be able to hear her, and she still wouldn't even be able to talk. You know? So
oh my goodness.
it was bruh, you know?
Yeah.
So, later it was snowing outside, so we just I got oven mitts, I don't know, and then I carried it outside to the snow and just left it there. But,
okay.
But the entire house was
filled with
smoke and stuff. It was funny.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a really interesting memory.
Yeah. Yeah. Medium speed. Medium speed.
Bruh.
Is it ready? Turn it off! Jimena! We need water!
What?
What about you, Jimena?
So one of my favorite memories with Andrea, well, like just with my friends,
Yeah.
I think it's when I went to California with Andrea, and
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
when we went to California, it was mainly just a road trip, and
Ooh, road trip out of state.
yeah. So when we were in California, we ended up going to the beach. Just like we were just found like a day.
Yeah, to go to the beach.
Yeah, just to waste.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So since we had nothing to do, we just ended up going to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
But like we were in the trunk of the car, so we were in the trunk.
On the trunk of the car.
Yeah. So we saw like outside,
Uh-huh.
and like through the little tiny windows, we could see that it was really gloomy outside. So like it wasn't gonna be a good day to go to the beach, but it was fine. Like we were still gonna try and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So when we went, it was a bad day, but like, who cares?
Bad weather, but we're going to
Yeah.
the beach.
So
When
when
like hot, you know, like
Yeah.
really hot. It's like
since it's
Bad weather and
California,
hot. Oh, like humid
yeah.
thing? Oh.
So since we went to California and stuff, it was really hot. Like that day was just really hot.
Yeah.
But we got ready to like go into the water and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then once we jumped into the water, we saw like we could feel seashells at the bottom of the like in the
Those
sand.
ones hurt.
Yeah. And it was like cutting our feet.
Oh my goodness.
Like when we left, I showed her my feet and there was like cuts on it.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
And since we were like it was like we didn't bring sandals or anything or like the strap-on shoes.
Yeah.
We just ended up putting our socks on.
Oh, in the water.
Yeah.
Soggy socks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So we just had socks on inside of the water, and just a bunch of sand and stuff was going into it, and like there were seashells in our socks too.
Well, at least it was like a fun memory though.
Yeah.
I remember when I took off my socks, since it was like changing rooms there,
Yeah.
or like showers, you know, that section or
Yeah,
whatever.
like the fitting room.
I took off my sock. Like I was like, "What is this?" You know, like, a bunch of sand
Yeah.
coming out.
Chunks of
yeah.
sand. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and honestly, I lost my socks in the water.
Oh, they
'Cause
just,
they just kept coming off because of how much sand was getting into them.
Oh, like the weight of
Yeah,
it.
it was so heavy. Like I would walk around, I'd be like,
Oh my goodness, but that's fun. Like
Yeah.
going out, like out of the state in a trip with your
Yeah.
friends. That's actually
Yeah.
so fun. And what about you, Elena?
Well, as a youth group, we all went to Colorado for a youth convention.
Oh
And,
yeah.
I feel like we all got closer to God over there, and then we made a lot of new memories and new friends. So it was pretty
Yeah.
fun.
And that's like a way like you guys together, like what you guys believe and like value.
Yeah.
Like grow together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So like, what do you guys think has sustained your friendship for like so long? Because it's been so many years. Like I know there's
It
friendships that
has.
like come and go, but you guys' friendship just keeps growing. How what do you guys think has sustained it?
I feel like since we like grown up together, like, and so like we know like how we are together. So it's like if we know like someone's hurting, we like always fix it, and we know how to fix it because we've always been friends for so long. So it's like an easy way to fix it.
Yeah, you guys like know
Yeah.
each other.
It's
You guys predict each other.
yeah, it's kind of like like we've had our ups and downs, you know, like we
Yeah.
were like mad at each other for like some time and stuff. But like I feel like it's like at the end of the day we can't be mad at each other. Like you know, like we need to tell them like. You know, because
Yeah,
then,
you guys
like,
need
we
each
fix
other.
things, and then, like, there's just, like, so much things to tell them, like, catch up
Yeah.
on stuff, like, yeah.
No, yeah, because I'll be like forgetting I'm mad at them, and I'll just like send them TikToks like forgetting I'm mad at them. I'm like,
You guys avoid the thing. You're just like, it was a small matter. We're forgetting about it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I know that like in the Bible it says that two is better than one, and I think you guys are like a really good example of that. So the next question I want to ask is, do you guys find it hard to make like good friends in this generation?
Personally, I think that it's kind of hard, only because people don't try to get close with God anymore. So you just don't like have the same beliefs, and you just try to separate yourself from like bad people.
Yeah.
So, and then most people, like most kids now, like teenagers, they just like tend to do bad things. So like you just like you can't, like it feels like you're forced to say yes and do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I feel like the same thing too, cause like growing up in the church, it's like you're like kind of comfortable with how people act in the church.
Yeah.
But then when you go to school or like you go to like a party or whatever, like people are acting like different and you're not used to it. So it's like there's like a feeling like you feel like, oh, like should I do it too? It's like you get like tempted.
Yeah,
to do it
it's a conviction.
Yeah.
I think it's also like when you get influenced by friends and like you know how you act, like how you act with like the people you're around.
Oh, you influence like
with you hang out with.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's say you're like with your friends that don't understand like your religion or like don't really like respect it that well. Like they ask you to do things like you know you're gonna say no to, and it's just like, oh, like no, that's wrong. Like I'm not gonna do that. You know, like I'm not gonna snitch on you, but like
yeah.
but like just don't get me involved. You know.
Yeah.
Or like I'm gonna distance myself from you if you're like doing like that stuff. You know. Or like don't get me involved. You know, I don't care.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to be your friend, like in the good side, like where we get to hang out, go for coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
like in that part, I just want to get distance myself and don't want to be part of that. So it's like, yeah, it's hard.
I also think it's hard when you can't. I feel like people aren't as vulnerable anymore, like face to face, and it's all like through texting. It's like if we have an uncomfortable like conversation we want to talk about, it's like, oh, let's just talk about it through text and not like through person. And I think this generation is kind of like so used to that now, like just doing everything through social media and like expressing their feelings all through social media. So it's like it's hard to find people who are actually like honest with you and like real with you, and like in that way.
That's true.
So I know we've all had like experiences where we had to like let go of friendships of for whatever reason, and I know you guys have experiences with that, like just friendships that just weren't good for you or for whatever reason you guys let go. Do you guys want to share some stories about that?
Yeah, because one time I was friends with like a group of friends.
Yeah.
And they would always talk about like religion, but it would be like in a bad way. But they didn't know I was Christian. And so one time they were just talking bad about Christians and I was saying all this stuff. And I was just like,
yeah,
like,
uncomfortable.
I realized I was like, maybe this is not my friend group. So then after some time I like kind of like distanced myself. But then they would also like, once I told them, I'm like, oh, I'm a Christian, like I don't do stuff with this, stuff. They would be like, oh, like it's okay, like no one's gonna know. So I'd be like,
oh, no one's gonna know.
No.
Literally, that's what they said.
So I just edited it right there. So it's good.
So when I drop my friends, it's like it's usually just mutually.
Yeah.
Like we both just decide, oh, we don't want to be friends anymore. Like I'll just like unfollow them, and like I'll just stop talking to them. I'll mostly just like distance myself and like make sure I'm not like involved with them anymore in any way. So like that's mainly all. Like it's always just mutually.
Like you guys just over time, it just kind of like dies.
Yeah, like we just drift away.
Okay.
I remember this one time I was like friends with this one girl. Let's just call her like Chloe. Like me and Chloe were like really close. Like she would be really like pegadita a ti, you know, like
oh, like really
clingy.
Yeah, that's weird. And like I mean I wouldn't mind that, like okay, you know. But then it would get to like a point where she's like kind of like trying to get information out of me, like literally just, oh, what happened? And I'm just like, oh, like this and this, you know.
Yeah.
But like I wasn't like suspecting anything at first, but then like later like I noticed that like she would like start telling my business to like other people, and like I didn't like that because it was like I would trust you with something and you would just like go ahead and like say it to other people and stuff, you know. And like I started like distancing myself from her because like later I found out that she would like do like worse things. I'm not gonna like mention it, but you know.
Yeah.
And like not only that, like I also found out that like she would like do like bad things to our friend group, like talk bad about us and stuff, and it's like for me it was like, why are you hanging out with us if you're just gonna talk bad about us, you know, like we're not forcing you to hang out with us, you know. And not only that, it was like you really wanted to hang out with us, you know. Like so it was kind of like oh, I had to distance myself from you, like, and like, you know, I told her straight up. I told her, I was like oh, I feel like you've been just
talking bad.
Yeah, like gossiping. I found out everything. I told her I found out everything that you've been saying, you know. And then she's like, no, it's not like that and stuff. I was like, so how is it like you can't put that in a good way, you know, because like it was also like the proof was there, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just like later she like just she kind of got mad at us, like my friend group and stuff, because like we confronted her about it and stuff. But I was like, okay, well, like ni modo, you know?
Yeah.
So like I had to like distance myself from that because it was just because it was also like she was really like unhealthy.
Yeah, like I know what you mean.
Toxic.
Like you're not
She
healthy.
was really toxic. Like she'd get mad like when you'd hang out with someone and not be with her, you know? Like really jealous and stuff. And it's just like that's not what you want a friendship to be like.
Yeah,
know?
no. Yeah,
So I just had to
let go of that.
let go of that. Yeah.
And then like how you were saying, like all that drama and like gossiping, and how do you guys handle that? Like I know every friend group has some type of drama. Like that's just unavoidable. It just happens. Like how do you guys handle that? Disagreements between each other too, like anything.
I feel like with disagreements like between us, it's different than with like other friends.
Yeah.
Because like we can fix things easily. Like we'll just stop like texting, and then we'll just start texting normally again. Like we just like we'll get mad, but we'll never talk about it. But it's not like a big deal to like talk, like have a huge like
Conversation.
yeah. But like I feel like if it is important and it's like repeating itself and like it's always happening, we actually talk about it and we take the time to apologize for like our actions and stuff. So like we just like sit down and like we call each other and we'll talk about it for hours straight just to make sure like our point gets through.
Yeah. That's good.
Like we would try to like explain ourselves to each other because like it's kind of like, oh, I felt like awkward when you told me this or something, you know? Or like it'd be as simple as that, and then it would be like, oh, like I noticed like I didn't mean to like make you feel that way, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay, like I'll try not to do it next time, you know? But I feel like also like with other friendships, like since we have known each other for like 5+ years, like it was like I felt
You guys like know each other kind of
yeah,
thing?
like so it's just not like when it's a big deal, it's a big deal, like, and we make it a big deal, but like right now it's just chill, you know? But like with other friends, like I have like this one friend that I'm only friends like recently, and like when we like argue or something, it's kind of like I take it serious, you know? And like she takes it serious too, so I'm just like I want to fix it right away, you know? Like I talk to her about it, I'll be like, hey, like I didn't mean to make you like
feel that way.
Yeah, feel that way, but like I also felt awkward when you told me this and stuff, you know? But like I feel like every argument with them would be just like serious, but like with us it's just like sometimes it's serious and sometimes it's not, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I don't even know because like we'll like get into like drama, like not drama, but like we'll like argue, but it'll be like for like a little reason.
Yeah.
So it's like we kind of just like forget about it, and then if it's like a big deal, we'll just like talk about it, and it's like not that.
Not a big deal. Okay. And like, what values do you guys like value between each other? Like, you know, of friendships. You know, everyone has like a value that you're like, oh, I like this.
Well, I feel like we all value like trust. Because you can't have a friendship without trust. Because if it's like if I trust you with something and then you go tell someone, it's like we don't have that bond. So it's like I feel like we all have that because we all trust each other a lot. So
I feel like something that we value a lot is having God in our friendship, because he's the one that's like leading our way and like putting us in the right path with him.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something to really value. And also like I feel like if we don't have a relationship with God and like one of us is in the, like follows God and then the rest of us don't, then we just like it doesn't feel the same way. Like there's just not that bond like if we all like trust in God.
Yeah, because it's all like centered
Yeah.
around him, and it's that just makes sense.
Yeah, like we could like bring up like verses and be like, in the Bible it says this, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have like debates about like, no, the Bible said that. The Bible said that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like just God like is the main like thing we all see, and it's like we all base it off like what the Bible tells us and everything. So it's like you know?
Yeah.
Amen. But it's also another thing I value a lot is like it's kind of like trust, but it's like, you know, you're not gonna get judged by them, you know? It's like I could like tell them anything, and I know like I could be delusional sometimes, you know? And like I know they're not gonna judge me for it, you know? And it's like they'll just like be nice.
Yeah, you can like be yourself.
Yeah, and I'm
them.
like if it's like with other friends, I feel like I would just be scared to like tell them, because then what if they end up like actually judging me and like talking behind me or something? And I'm just like, but like with them, I'm comfortable. I can tell them anything, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Another thing is that like all three of us are a trio, and like it's just us three. Like nobody else is in our group.
Yeah.
So like, if I start talking bad about them, like they won't know.
Wait, talking
Like-
bad about them? Like them
Yeah,
too?
like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like we can't talk bad about each other
Mm-hmm.
because we only have each other, you know?
No, yeah.
No.
That sounded really bad.
Sometimes when we like go somewhere, they'll be like, "Oh, where's the other girl?" So it's like we're always
Yeah.
together. So we'll always like ask
Oh,
her
yeah.
to
well, yeah, it's like they call us the Three Musketeers.
Oh, I've heard that
There was
before.
like, oh, the other musketeer, where's she at? And it's she's in Arizona. Or something.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
it's like, it's always like they can't see us alone. They'll be like, something's off, you know?
Yeah, yeah. If we're not together, then they think we're like mad at each other and stuff.
Okay. All right.
And it's also since like our families are really close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's been funny because when we've like had like our bigger arguments, like when we were younger, like they were big arguments, but now we look back at it and it's funny. But but like our parents would like literally like try so much just to like make us fix things, you know? Because it's like our parents
Yeah.
like seeing us like together, you know? It's
yeah.
like, oh, that friendship is based off of like they met in church and stuff. Like they're gonna grow up in the church. Like we want them to be like good, you know? So
yeah,
it's like our families being so close is good too.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
helps you guys just bond.
They're like
That's
really involved in our friendship.
They play a big part.
Yeah.
They're like, "Can you take us to Jimenez house or Andrea's house?" And like always like a car ride to the
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys live like
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
really
apart.
far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think we all have like a story to share or like a lesson that we've learned from friendships, and so I want to ask you guys like, what is the biggest lesson you guys have learned from like any type of friendship?
So I feel like something that I've learned from a friendship is that you can't really trust and rely on everybody, because like I feel like if you tell someone something that's really important to you or like something that not everybody knows,
Yeah.
they can just easily go behind your back and
That's
start
true,
telling
that's
people.
So I was
Because-
gonna say-
Because I feel like with them too, like I can trust them because
Yeah.
like we don't have like people out of this group that know a lot about me. So like if I tell them something, I'll obviously know it's them that's like talking like bad about me, you know?
Not that we would though.
But like I feel like just like something that I've really learned is that not everybody's trustworthy.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's like you have to be like really careful with what you're telling like people or who you're trusting, because it's just like, you know, we live in a really filthy world. But it's really like scary. Like it's honestly scary at this point. It is, because it's just like oh, they're gonna know so much about you, and then next thing you know, like they're gonna drop you, and it's just gonna be like you gonna get
Yeah,
worse and
because you
stuff.
never know if like when you tell someone something, they're gonna be like, "Oh, like I'm gonna go say like what they said to me to like a different person." So like you have to be careful what you say and like who you tell it to and everything. So it's really important.
And how
I
do you guys
feel
feel like? Oh, sorry, you go.
So like never mind, you can go. It's fine. I forgot.
No, sorry. I was just gonna say like, how do you guys know when like to tell someone something like deep from you?
I see it kind of like when I can kind of see that they're trusting me things, like
when
trusting
they start
me,
first.
yeah. Because I can never start like trusting someone like just like that. Like I feel like when they start trusting me with things, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I know I'm not gonna say anything, you know.
Yeah.
And it's don't put it in, don't like quote me or
Yeah.
put me in a bad way. Don't put this in a bad way, but it's kind of like, oh, you're trusting me with things, and I'm gonna trust you with these things that I'm telling you. So if you say something about me, like I know stuff about you, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like you wouldn't want to like spill a tea.
Yeah. But I feel like if someone trusts me with something, like I'm gonna like keep it to myself. I'm not gonna tell anyone. But I know like not to tell people things, because like if they're telling me about people like other people's business, like I'm gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna trust you if you're telling other people things. So it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
so like you can trust me, but I don't know if I'll trust you back.
Yeah, isn't it kind of like a red flag? Kind of.
Yeah.
Not exactly like a red flag, but like if they're talking about someone else to
Then
you,
it's
it's
you
like.
realize it's like
Yeah.
I feel like when I know when to trust someone is when they're like Christian. Because like in the Bible it says like don't gossip, you know? So like if they're Christian, if they truly believe in God's word and stuff, then I know that they won't talk bad about me. And like just what as they said, like if they trust me, then I'll trust them.
Yeah. Yeah. I know like the church's not perfect. Like I know there's people that are like just not not trustworthy, but I feel like when we share some values, you know, you're in a space where like you know we should be supporting each other, then it just makes it easier to like trust someone. Yeah. So what do you guys feel about like the saying? You know the saying that says, "Tell me who your friends are, and I'll know who you are," or like your friends are a reflection of who you are. Like, do you guys agree with that, or like what do you guys think about that?
I feel like I do, but I don't, because some people will be like, "Oh, if you see that girl and that girl," it's gonna be like, "Well, they're two different people." So it's like, because sometimes I have a friend like they'll be like doing stuff, but I still hang out with them, but I don't do
the same things.
So it's like people need to understand that just because who you hang out with is like doesn't affect you as well. So it's like, I don't know.
I feel like I could agree on it, like partially too, because it's kind of like who you hang out with does have a big like impact of you know how you are, because it's like you enjoy like being around them, you know, or like you're around them for a reason and stuff. But it's also kind of like it's like it's like complicated, because sometimes like I am around people, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know this, like this girl and me are so similar in so many ways, like you know. So it's kind of like I feel like it could have a reflection on you, like if I see a group hanging out and I'm like see this other girl hanging out with them and be like, well, they're all like very similar in many ways, and they all do the things together, you know. And I'm not gonna like assume it, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, that girl is exactly like that girl and stuff, but it's like, oh, that girl hangs out with this girl that does this and this and this, you know. So it's like that's how I see it, you know.
I feel like I also agree with it like that. Like I agree with it, but I don't agree with it only because like I've been friends with like bad people. And like the things they do don't impact me, you know. Like the things they do don't, like sometimes it will reflect on me, and then I try and fix myself, like I try to distance myself from them and be better. But like you just like always, like sometimes you just give in to temptation and you just end up doing what they do. So like if that happens to me and people I know, like if I see a girl hanging out with another girl I know and like she starts becoming like her, then I already know that she's like, it's a reflection, you know. So like I feel like it does play a big part in like that saying. Only because like, oh, if I'm going through this, then they're probably going through that too. You know? Like,
There's like a really thin barrier, I feel like, when like being like the group you're in and like being different, it can be like really hard to like be like, like, because you don't, especially when you're like in the wrong group, it can be like really hard. It can be like, I don't do these things that they do, but like
I don't want to leave them.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to leave them,
it's
so
like, you don't want them to get the wrong idea tampoco.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not you guys, just it's not.
You just exactly.
It's like the saying where it's like, hate the sin, not the person.
Yes. I've had there's been multiple times where like there's, you know, I don't know why, but I feel like there's, you know, like not like people like at school, you know, they call them like the weird kids or stuff like that. So sometimes there's certain times that I like talk to them, or you know, and I feel like they're the people that mostly like need someone. I don't know. I've always like, whenever I talk to them, I'm like, okay, like this person's going through so much, you know, and I feel like they express themselves like outwardly, like in a different way. They try to express that like just to like try to like fit in, or like not fit in, but like feel valued kind of. And like I'm always like, whoa, like, because you know, like how groups are formed, it's like how people are like similar, kind of like what Andrea was saying, like you have like similar things, you connect more, and you're like part of that group, you know, and kind of like there's like this separation, and it's like no one kind of like includes other people, and like, you know, that can be like at times that can be hard for others, like trying to get to like another like, group of friends and try to connect with others. But yeah. So how do you guys keep like the balance between like people who are like non-believers and those who are? Like,
That's a hard question.
With Jimena said, it's like, wait, what did you say? Like you can like hang out with the people, but you don't do this in as well. So I feel like you can still hang out with like non-believers, but it's like you don't have to do what they're telling you to do, or like you don't have to do what they're saying, or like whatever. But it's kind of hard to like be friends with non-believers, because if I want to talk to them about the Bible, they're gonna be like, be like confused and be like, well, I don't really want to talk about that. So it's like you have to like keep your distance about like that, but also try to share it as well. So it can
be awkward at times.
It's also like I'm in a friend group where it's like I have Mormons, I have Catholics, and I have Christians. So it's like I always try to be, because they're big on their religion too, you know? So I'm like trying to be like respectful about like, oh, you believe that, so I'm gonna like, you know? We're all like respectful about like our religion and stuff, so we don't really touch that topic because we're all gonna be like, no, but the Bible says this, no, but like this,
like this debating.
So it's like you want to be like respectful like to that. So it's kind of like it is difficult in that situation. So like I would bring it up though, like sometimes I'd be like, no, but like I'm Christian, like we believe this and stuff, and they'd be like, oh, like they'd be like, oh, literally, oh, because it's like they don't want to start like a
debate or
or like anything like that, because then it's gonna start bringing
and it's also kind of hard to like discuss things because there's like disagreements in like what you believe in, but and then like you kind of just like, well, I believe in this and you believe in that, so it's like you know,
kind of just answer.
I feel like it's kind of hard being friends with like non-believers, because if you're trying to comfort them and like make them feel good while they're like going through something really hard, and you try to be like, oh, like God is here, like he can help you, and just pray to him and stuff, they're like, oh, but I'm Catholic, you know, like
like they
like, so like if they believe in other things and stuff than what I do, then I can't
really
comfort
like them.
I can't bond with them in like in any way.
It can be hard.
It's also another thing I see is like I'm big on religion, right? But I'm also not like a professional that like studies the Bible. Like I try to like read the Bible and stuff, you know, but I don't like study it. It's like I can't have an actual debate with someone like about Catholic and Christians and stuff, or like something I get like said to a lot. I'm like, oh, I'm Christian. They're like, oh, I'm Christian too. But they're Catholic, you know? And then
I've been told that so many times.
I get
like,
that a lot too. And I'm just like, I don't know how to tell them, because I forget. They tell me like the word that it is, like our type of Christian that we are. But I just...
Pentecostal, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I forget to say that I'm like that version, you know? Because I'm just, they're like, isn't that the same thing? And I'm like,
no,
it's like I'm a different type. I'm a different type.
Explain it.
Yeah, I'll be like, I can't explain that to you at the moment. I'll look for the word and then I'll like, you know. But it's like I'm not gonna be like, no, you're not Christian because I'm Christian and you're not believing the same thing as me. But it's like you're kind of. But I don't know how to explain it to them, you know. So I don't really touch that topic when it gets to that point, because I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like it's like I can't be like I'm Christian, you know, because like Mormons think they're Christian.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know.
They're like,
no, that happens.
they're like,
that happens to me a lot.
We believe in the same thing, so I'm Christian too. But like, what we do is different. Like the way we pray, the way like we read the Bible, like all that stuff, it's different.
Yeah.
So like if they're like, I'm like, oh, I'm Christian. They're like, I'm Christian too, but I'm Mormon. I'm like.
So you're not Christian.
So you're not Christian.
My mind says so you're not Christian, but it's like they are Christian, but it's just like a different kind of.
Yeah. Like I'm not rude about other people's religion. I'm not like that's wrong. Like my Bible says this and your Bible says that. Like yours is completely wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, your Bible says that. My Bible says this.
Like you have to be like respectful with it.
Yeah.
Because like you want them to like respect your beliefs. Because it's kind of like if someone doesn't respect my beliefs, like that's kind of like awkward.
Yeah.
If they start like saying stuff about my religion, that's when I'm like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Like when like what I just said, like if they were like, oh, your Bible is wrong, I'd get so mad. I'd be like,
but it's like I'm not about to I get defensive about it, but I'm also not about to be like, well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
Yeah, you kind of want to show like the love of God too.
Yeah.
So,
like it's just like I'm trying to like spread it to you, like, oh, God's coming.
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah.
It's like if people actually there's like they don't have a religion and they like call themselves atheists and stuff. Like I try to tell them so much about God.
Yeah.
Like I'll start reading like Bible verses to them. I'll be like,
no, yeah, that makes sense because I think they're like since they don't believe anything, it's kind of like much easier to like tell them kind of.
Yeah, but if it's like if they're another religion, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because like I'll be saying a verse they know, and they'll be like, wait, like my verse says this though. You know?
Yeah. I had a friend actually one time. He like I don't know how he got to the topic of like religion, but he started like just throwing a bunch of like questions like at me, and I was like I don't know, like but like questions that were like so like about history and like you know like really. I don't know. You have to like really like know
like,
what
really
you
deep questions.
yeah, and I'm just like I have no idea, but I'll get you the answers one day, you know? But yeah, like that can be hard. Like when they just throw you a bunch of questions and you're just like, I don't know what to say. Like I really like genuinely don't know what to say. And I don't know. I feel like since our parents are Christians and, you know, we've grown up in church, we have like that easy access, like asking our dad, you know, asking a pastor, like, you know, finding answers to like those type of things. But yeah.
It's also like complicated. It's also complicated to like bring them to church. Like I have like friends like I try to bring them to church, but it's also it's complicated because like their family is like that entire religion there. Like let's say if I have like a Catholic friend, and then I'm like, oh, like come to my church. You know, like I have this event. And it's not gonna be too like strong thrown at you like all these like Christian things. You know, it's gonna be like fun, and then you know we're gonna like bring up the Bible and stuff, you know, because it's literally at my church. It's a church event, you know? But it's like, then their family would be like, no, I don't feel comfortable you going because, like, we believe in this and I don't want you to get, like, confused and stuff, you know? So they're like, oh, like, I can't go because, like, my family doesn't, you know? So I'm just like, oh, okay, like, that's fine. But it's just, I don't know how else to, like, you know?
I found, it's like, it can be, I feel like some parents are really strict on that, and some parents are like, "Oh yeah, you can go," you know.
Yeah.
It's like if you grow up in that church, then like that's what you stick to like most of your life. So like if they grew up in another church, like in a different religion, I don't even try asking, because like if they asked me, I would have already said no. I would have been like, "No, I can't. I'm Christian," you know, because like they're gonna start telling me things that, like if I go to their church, then they're gonna start telling me things about their church, and then I'll be like, but my church is different, you know?
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's also I had this one friend that I was like inviting her to church, and then she was like, oh, like I can go to your church if you come to mine one.
Oh,
like,
I've had friends like that too.
Oh, I don't think I can do that, you know? Because then like I'm not like too like I have my doubts, like I have my questions, you know. So it's like when they start throwing more things at me, I just get more confused, and I'm just like, holy, like wait,
like this
you know,
is a lot.
And I don't want to get confused. Like I want to like grow with God,
like be firm.
Yeah,
and no, I understand that.
Like oh, sorry.
Like
like if I'm Christian, like right now, like I grew up in it, I want to go down that path. I don't want to like change my ways because of another church, you know?
Yeah. I know that you, Elena, have invited lots of friends here. Like I like over the years, I've known that you brought people here. How do they feel? Like, what do they tell you after?
Sometimes I'll invite them to like a youth event, and they'll be like, "That was not what I expected."
Like,
Like, it was actually really fun. Like we played games, we had food, and we like talked about the Bible. Like I guess they were like kind of like shocked. I guess not like shocked, but like they were like, "That was not what I was expecting." Because I feel like when people like when I invite them to church, they're gonna be like, "Oh, just like prayers." But then when I invite them, we'll play like games, and then we'll like ask questions about the Bible to like win a prize or whatever. And then they'll be like, "Oh, like that was totally not what I expected." So then sometimes they'll like start coming more, and then they'll be asking my parents because they're pastors. They'll always ask my parents questions about the Bible, and they like get closer to God, and I like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that too, because it's like they really think when we say Christians, they really think we're just like so strict with everything, but we're really But I don't think you understand. Just do the right thing. Like, that's all we're asking you. Just don't pecar, like, don't sin. That's all, like, well, like, there's a lot more to it, obviously, but it's, like, that's, like, the main idea. Just don't do anything bad, and other than that, like, do you know, like,
because our church is, like, really fun. Like, we do a lot of things, like, going to, like, these events, going to Colorado and stuff.
Oh, yeah, Colorado is so fun.
Like, it's, like, I don't know how to explain it.
We're different.
Yeah, like, our church is so different
they,
than
like,
other
really
people's.
try to...
No, it's fine.
They, like, really try to understand how, like, our way of learning or our way of, like, trying to get closer, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you just bring a kid over here, like, and just start praying, like, pray and stuff, you know? It's like, you want to give them a way to, like, actually be interested and, like, start looking for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like if our church was just sitting down and praying the whole time, then, like, a lot of us would have drifted. Like, we wouldn't even, like... Sorry. We would, like, I feel like if our church was like that, a lot of kids would have, like, started separating themselves from our church and God. And, like, that's why we do a lot of, like, fun things and activities.
Yeah. And then we always have, like, a Thursday service, like, for the youth. And I feel like the youth pastors try to, like, make a way to, like, talk about the Bible, like, in a fun way.
Yeah.
So it's, like, everybody's, like, also interested in, like, trying to, like, get to learn more. And then I feel like people at our church, like, learned a lot, and they, like, found God and everything.
Yeah.
And then especially, like, with the youth, like, sometimes, like, it's kind of hard to be, like, a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, be Christian and be a teenager at the same time. Because you get, like, distant from God. You're, like, following the people, but it's, like, God's calling you back. And then you go to church on Thursday, and then you realize, like, as you're, like, going through something, like, the youth pastor is, like, brings it up.
Oh my gosh, that happens so much.
They always know. They always know.
Yeah, It's because I feel like people... Oh, sorry, you can go.
No, it's okay.
I was just gonna say, like, there's some... I feel like people are stuck in their mindset. It's, like people who don't really... Like, other people, like, from out of, like, the Christian... Or, like, out of the church. They have this mindset of religion being, like, this routine thing. Like, you come, you pray, you worship, you close your eyes, you read the Bible, you guys are all quiet. And, like, it's just, like, this routine. Like, this is what they think. And so, like, when they come to church, it's, like, we're playing games. You know? Or, like, doing that. Or, like, the music sometimes is just different. It's not, like, the, like... really calm, slow. Yeah. It can happen. It's like, oh my goodness, what? I feel like Colorado, when we went to Colorado, I feel like that's where people can, like, connect so much. Because I think before, like, you can even, like, touch people on, like, the religion subject, you kind of have to, like, connect with them. Like, they have to, like, you have to create a bond, like, a trust. Like, hey, like, let's get to know each other, you know, and then, like, later you can be like, okay, you can get, like, into the deeper, like, conversations.
Yeah. Like the youth conventions, they're insane.
Oh,
like,
yes,
it's just,
they are.
You're in a room full of, like, 500 more, maybe more.
Yeah.
But, like, that they just, like, they're all might be going through the same thing. Like, they're probably going through the same thing. Like, they want to be part of, like, the trends, and, like, the people, you know? But, like, you're Christian, so, and you know what's right, you know what's wrong. So, it's, like, you really try to, like, you know, it's, like, they just all understand you, you know? Like, that's really nice.
Yeah.
You guys should go.
Really nice.
I feel like the youth convention is, like, somewhere, like, a safe space, you know?
Yeah. It's so true, though.
Yeah, because we all understand each other, and we all, like, especially when they know what you're going through. Like when they start praying for you, when it's getting really deep and emotional, and they start, like, knowing exactly what you went through. You're like, what? Like, what? Like, I never told you this.
Yeah, and it's, like, a powerful way of, like, God just speaking through us, like, just through our church, through our brothers and sisters, and, you know, it's really nice. So I think, like, the last question I want to ask is, do you guys think being alone can be good for us? Like isolation, kind of. Like, do you think it could be good for us at times,
like,
or no?
Me specifically, or, like, in general?
You can talk about you specifically or in general. It's up to you.
So I feel like I like being alone, but I also love having my friends around. Yeah. Because, like, I just know that they're there for me. And I know that, like, they care about me and they love me. Yeah. But, like, being alone is also a time where I can just, like, talk to God, you know? Yeah. Because, like, I talk to God as, like, if he was my best friend. So, like, I tell him everything. I just, like, have conversations in my head with him. Yeah. You know? So, like, just being alone and having God by your side is, like, just better. Like, as I said, like, I just love my friends and everything with them.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's okay to be alone, but it's like also okay like if you're going through something you don't want to talk to anyone, like it's okay to be alone and you can like talk to like yourself. Like, it's okay, like you know what you're going through, you know how you feel, and you can just like help yourself like that, you know.
Yeah, I think like being alone is really good because you can like have time to reflect like on everything you're doing, you know. You can really think about it, you know.
Yeah.
Like you really think about everything and stuff. But like it's like if you are going through something similar to what Elena said, it's like if you're going through something, you also don't want to go through it alone, you know.
Yeah.
Like you want to talk to someone about it, you know. It's like you don't want to have it all bottled up or something, you know.
Yeah.
So it is like good to like read the Bible and like talk to God, like pray and like, you know, ask questions, you know. But it's also like you want to like you want to talk to someone about it, you know, like you know you have, like for me, like personally, like I know I have them and I know I can talk to them about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And like I know I have like other people I can talk to and stuff, and it's like I like being alone and I'm like scared of talking about my feelings because I'm sometimes like really confusing like to understand, and it's like I don't like explaining myself that well, so it's like that's when it is kind of like good to be alone.
Yeah,
I guess
it can go both ways.
Yeah, it can go both ways for me.
It's like you understand yourself better than how other people understand you.
Yeah, I think it can go both ways. Like it's also like so I feel like sometimes you need to be alone just so like you can quiet down the voices like around you, like everyone talking, and just like, you know, you can just really focus on yourself. But I also think, you know, I think God made other humans too for a reason. Like he didn't just put us here alone, because, you know, in Adam, you know, in the Bible, like when he was alone, like God said that's not good, you know, like he needs a partner. And, you know, people can like relate that to like marriage and stuff, but like it's also like we have each other, we have like we need friends here in this life, because it's better when someone can also carry your worries or your burdens too, not just carry them like all by yourself. So I think it's really important that we have friends with us, and just find our group of people, and people that like are like similar to us, that they have our same beliefs, that they value the same things that we value. And I just want to tell you guys that like find your group, find people you can connect with, and like even in your church, most of the people, like teenagers, they are going through similar situations, and you can find people that can help you, that, you know, can take away like some of that burden that you have. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being part of this podcast. Thank you, all of you guys, for being here, for taking the time.
Thank you for having us.
We'll see you guys next time. We'll have another podcast soon. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.